that India, together with other Eastern countries, have already taken the lead by coming up with a new bloc in town, the BRICS. And to us, that is a very important bloc, which, by the way, we have said from the part of the country where I come from, that Zimbabwe has got the most resilient and peace-loving people in the world. And we say that we are resilient. It is not because of our own, but it is because of people like yourselves. I listened very carefully when the Honorable Minister, His Excellency from Nepal, spoke about the natural calamity that befell Nepal. Zimbabwe was besieged by a man-made calamity. A man-made calamity where a jurisdiction or jurisdictions thought of inflicting the most pain through imposing sanctions on Zimbabwe, which have been on us for the last 10 years. We call ourselves resilient. We would not be resilient if we had not looked east. We would not be resilient if the east had not kept the sun shining on us. So on that regard, we would like to say thank you very much. You have stood with us and opened your economies to Zimbabwe. Having said that, let me start by saying there is a huge potential for joint venture partnerships and opportunities that exist across the whole value chain for investment.
And developing countries or developing economies lead. I think justice has been done to the topic with the elaborate presentations of the ministers, the honorable ministers from United Arab Emirates, Nepal, Ukraine, Bangladesh, and Zimbabwe. If you look at the spread, you get a picture of most of those dynamic economies, all from the, largely from the developing world, and each one having made a distinct difference to their own economy in the last few years. We are talking in a state which is striving to be in ease of doing business in the top 15 global rankings, not just India rankings. But we are talking in an India which is in a cusp of change and being led by a Prime Minister who wants, as I said in the morning, wants to condense the time during which major reforms and major transformations can happen. But as things stand, can developing world lead? Is a question with an obvious answer. And I suppose that answer has been reinforced by each one of the ministers who spoke this morning in this session. And it is just not an aspirational statement. It is clearly proven that while developed countries who we habitually look up to, who we customarily think that are moving forward, are today reaching a plateau where if there is a growth of 1.2, 1.3 or less than 1, it's remarkable. Given the global economic environment, if you had economies in Europe telling you we will probably manage crossing 1% with a very big smile in their face, you can imagine what is the plateau they have reached. And these are developed economies which underwent not one stage but 2, 3 stages of industrial revolution. And if today their dependence.
Thank you for your participation. Thank you for making the journey to be with us at this partnership summit. We appreciate very much
readiness for debates, whether event with signs of celebration. This fact was widely discussed by politicians, statesmen, journalists, foreign diplomatic corps. However, the situation was quite different in 2015 when GDP achieved $2 trillion, intellectual potential, high level of development of technologies in different spheres. The key role of India will be increased by fulfilling of large-scale social and economic reforms that are pursued by the government of India with the Prime Minister Modi on the chair.
З одного боку, Індія продовжує бути
In the Republic of India, my sister, who I have always enjoyed to interact with. Thank you. These include, but are not limited to what I will articulate. One, industrialization from Africa, and indeed on my own behalf to express my sincere gratitude for the warm welcome that we received ever since we touched the soils of India. I would like to mention that it was really outstanding that you did not only prepare to meet us here at the local airport, but I was pleasantly surprised that when we got to Bombay, your people were already waiting for us. That was outstanding. Having traveled myself and represented my country in many countries and fora, I haven't seen such advanced welcome which is extended beyond the city of the venue. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Now that I am the last one to speak on this panel, I'm not surprised. The host is still, yes, I mean from the invited guests. I'm not surprised because I come from a country which alphabetically